who think that people are giving signals. You just get off the stupid internet and stop with it. And he wasn't assassinated by Israel.
The minute Charlie was shot, he called me, says, "Dad, Charlie's been shot in the neck. Please call every pastor and pray." He had blood all over him. And
Pastor Rob McCoy also claims that Mikey is covered in blood.
6 hours after Charlie died.
"Don't you dare get in the way."
The Turning Point USA Wikipedia received a rather interesting update. Pastor Rob McCoy somehow got his own head.
It landed like a gut punch. I'm telling you, this isn't some rumor. The reality is harsh, raw, and undeniable. And I'm ready to take the flak, ready for the backlash. Just to make this clear, wake up and pay attention. Don't be fooled. Because now, thanks to leaked texts, voice memos, and private messages from Mikey McCoy's wife, the Charlie Kirk story has taken a turn no one saw coming. These aren't just whispers behind the curtain. Screenshots, recordings, and conversations form a chain of evidence that stops you cold and makes you ask, wait, what? If these leaks are genuine, they point to far more than internal disagreements. They suggest that Erica Kirk and high-level figures at Turning Point USA might have known details long before the chaos unfolded. Did Erica accidentally expose Pugh's deception? According to the leaks, she first heard from Mikey just seconds after the incident. She said it happened while she was at her mom's doctor's office. Her phone was silent, and she had no reason to check it, until she did, and there was Mikey calling. This matches a clip of Mikey McCoy, Charlie Kirk's chief of staff, picking up his phone right as the event began spiraling out of control. Weeks ago, people noticed how strange that was. No running to help, no reaction to protect Charlie, just an immediate call, like he somehow anticipated what was coming. Not implying guilt, but it looked suspicious. Pugh's official response, though, pushed a different story. They claimed Mikey wasn't on the phone at all. Instead, he was filming social media clips for Charlie's accounts, capturing the crowd and the event as it unfolded. And yes, the noise was overwhelming. He covered his ears, phone in hand, supposedly documenting the event, not making calls. Two narratives, same moment. Small lies? Maybe. But as we all know, small lies can snowball into much larger ones. If Mikey was on a call before the cameras caught anything, that would completely change how we understand this story. The internet called it a silent betrayal. And the most shocking part? The leaks didn't come from an outside source, they came from the wife of the man right at the center, seen calmly answering his phone just before the chaos. Suddenly, every frame of Erica Kirk's post-incident statements carried weight, every "thank you" and measured pause now interpreted as carefully scripted. It all began with a mysterious late-night post. Screenshots, private recordings, just 4 chilling words, they all know. Within minutes, the content went viral. The screenshots revealed timing, security coordination, and alleged quotes from Mikey himself. A shaky voice memo followed, claiming, "I can't keep quiet anymore. This is not an accident." Fear, anguish, and warning were embedded in that tone. The timestamps aligned almost perfectly with the footage showing Mikey quietly lifting his phone seconds before the incident. Coincidence? Social media didn't think so. Reddit, TikTok, X, all dissected every frame. Every gesture, every glance, every pause was scrutinized. Leaked messages hinted at preparation, rehearsal, and collective silence. The group chat leaks were short but devastating. "Everything is ready. Stay calm. Cameras running. Erica already knows." Those 4 words, "Erica already knows," became a mantra haunting the internet. Digging deeper, timestamps suggested the messages were sent mere hours before the event. An Instagram story from Mikey's wife vanished within minutes, but not before fueling wild speculation. Independent investigators reposted and analyzed, asking the same question: was this orchestrated? Was Charlie Kirk betrayed from the inside? Video analysis revealed a possible pre-call moment. 1 minute 45 seconds before the shot, Mikey appeared to be on his phone. Covering his ears, phone in hand, it fits the theory, though assumptions remain. Both Mikey McCoy and Andrew Kovot were asked for comment, no reply. Silence in the face of viral scrutiny only fueled suspicion. The story exploded. Every moment of Erica Kirk's speech, every pause and every emphasis on Mikey McCoy, was now interpreted through the lens of the leaks. Body language experts weighed in, pointing to subtle gestures and timing as cues of pre-planned coordination. And as the public pieced everything together, inconsistencies multiplied. Rob McCoy, Mikey's father, claimed he was the first to receive the call. Erica claimed it was her. Timestamps don't align. Everyone's story conflicts. Turning Point USA tried to respond, issuing statements praising Mikey as heroic, yet failing to explain the contradictions. Each clarification only deepened the mystery. The PR machine swung into crisis mode, spinning articles framing Mikey as composed and loyal, but the event footage, the leaks, the timelines all told a different story. Then there's Jake Paul. In a completely separate world of drama, he just faced the ultimate reality check. His much-hyped Anthony Joshua fight collapsed before it began. This wasn't a ring loss, this was a public humiliation that left the boxing world shocked. Suddenly, Jake Paul wasn't just losing a fight, he was losing the narrative, knocked out by the harsh truth of professional boxing. The cancellation hit like a tidal wave. One moment, Jake was building hype for the biggest fight of his life. The next, public opinion flattened him faster than any punch could. It wasn't about contracts or negotiations. It was about fear, the fear of stepping out from the controlled spotlight and facing an elite, undefeated athlete. Originally, Jake was set to face Gervonta "Tank" Davis in a flashy exhibition. Miami, November 15th, big names, big views, zero real danger. Perfect Jake Paul formula. But when Davis faced new legal allegations and a civil suit, the matchup imploded. Desperate to maintain momentum, Jake made the critical mistake, he overreached. Out of nowhere, Anthony Joshua entered the picture. Not a social media influencer, not a retired MMA fighter for content, Joshua is a living heavyweight legend. 25 knockouts in 28 wins, Olympic gold, unified world titles, stadiums full of screaming fans. His presence alone turns a fight announcement into a seismic event. Boxing insiders immediately saw the danger. Jake had wandered straight into the lion's den. This wasn't about ducking punches, it was about confronting a living institution. Every fight, every punch, every calm, calculated move is a psychological weapon. Joshua didn't need to step into the ring to dominate, his reputation did it. He didn't just accept a fight, he forced Jake to face boxing reality. Joshua made his terms crystal clear, no safe rounds, no exhibition rules. 10-ounce gloves, full power, professional intensity. Promoters privately admitted Jake didn't fully grasp what he had signed up for. This wasn't about retired MMA guys, it was about a man who thrives under stadium pressure, who has flattened elite heavyweights, and whose knockout ratio alone terrifies. Hesitation followed. Jake tried negotiating softer rules, tweaks, anything to reduce risk, but Joshua refused every request. Finally, for the first time in his career, Jake faced an opponent he could not control, spin, or out-talk. Back to TPUSA, Candace Owens stepped in with a question that shook the organization. At the heart of the controversy was Charlie Kirk's former pastor, Rob McCoy. According to Owens, McCoy scrambled, gathering documents and sending urgent messages, while also allowing someone with a criminal record to interact with minors in church activities. A chilling revelation that drew widespread concern.
Want to cut a deal with you, and they want to see if you want to do a plea bargain before we get to a pre-trial.
If you haven't heard of Rob McCoy, he's the pastor at Godspeed Calvary Chapel, a man who's long been seen as Charlie Kirk's closest friend, spiritual guide, and confidant. At least, that's the story everyone believed. But the real question is whether that friendship was as transparent as it seemed, or if layers of information were deliberately kept from the public. In the immediate aftermath of Charlie's collapse, details around Rob McCoy and his son, Mikey McCoy, who served as TPUSA's chief of staff, began to draw intense scrutiny. Observers noticed something odd in the viral footage. Just moments before Charlie lost his balance, Mikey didn't sprint to help. He didn't show panic. Instead, he calmly walked away, phone pressed to his ear, almost as if a call was already in progress. That split-second behavior sparked a wildfire of speculation online. Who exactly was Mikey speaking to in the seconds before the incident? Some suggested it was Erica Kirk. Others pointed to Pastor Rob McCoy. But what made the story even more complicated was the conflicting accounts from everyone involved. Pastor Rob McCoy publicly claimed that Mikey had called him at the scene, describing his son as visibly distraught after witnessing the incident. But when compared to the viral footage, that version doesn't line up perfectly. The calm, composed figure walking away with the phone contradicts the idea of someone overwhelmed with panic. And that discrepancy is exactly what has left the online community questioning the narrative, wondering which pieces of the story are genuine, which are misremembered, and which might be deliberately obscured.
The minute Charlie was shot, he called me, says, "Dad, Charlie's been shot in the neck. Please call every pastor and pray." It's okay, son. He has wits about him. He was just directing. He had blood all over him.
But if that's true, it circles back to the same pressing question. Why does Mikey appear so calm? Why does the call happen before anyone even reacts? And why do the accounts keep layering ambiguity instead of clarifying what actually occurred? The public isn't chasing extreme theories, they're noticing that the timeline, the actions, the statements, and the small details simply don't add up. Every explanation seems to create another contradiction, leaving observers more confused than ever. The question isn't about blame, it's about clarity. Why do those closest to Charlie tell pieces of the story that don't align? And why, the more they try to explain, the more muddled the narrative becomes. Pastor Rob McCoy described Mikey as being covered in marks from the incident. But here's the issue, the viral footage clearly shows Mikey walking away before Charlie lost his balance. He doesn't approach him afterward. There is no moment in the video where their paths intersect closely enough to match Rob's description. So why include such a detail? Was it an attempt to frame Mikey as brave, to suggest he rushed to help, when the footage shows a calm, detached departure? Then Erica Kirk added another layer of complexity. She claims she was the first person Mikey called after the incident. A New York Times article recounts her version. She was in her mother's hospital room in Phoenix at 11:23 a.m. when she noticed the call from Mikey. She said she could sense immediately, even before Pastor Rob shouted, that he's in trouble. Here's the complication, both Erica and Rob claim Mikey reached them immediately after the incident. But unless it was a group call, which neither mentioned, those timelines simply cannot coexist. Even then, the content differs wildly. Erica recalls Mikey yelling, "He's in trouble," full of urgency. Rob recalls a calm warning about targeting Charlie's neck. Two versions, completely different in tone and substance. And then there's the video. It's undeniable, Mikey lifts the phone to his ear, does not dial, swipe, or open the calling app. He simply holds it as if the call was already connected, all before Charlie even collapses. Actions and accounts clash. Content and tone diverge. The footage doesn't align with the testimony. And in the center of it all is Mikey, unnaturally calm amid chaos. The strange thing isn't that people are asking questions, it's that every attempt to explain only deepens the mystery. Timing, gestures, statements, footage, none of it fits together. As those closest to Charlie speak, the public is left piecing together a puzzle that refuses to lock into place. Mikey McCoy is amazing. That phrase has gone viral, but not in the way Tpuza or supporters would have hoped. More and more observers are pointing to his reaction at the moment Charlie fell as unnerving, some even suggesting he seemed almost aware of what was coming rather than simply witnessing it. And then, in Erica Kirk's first public appearance since her husband's death, she spoke with a trembling voice. She said, with emotion that pierced through the room. Clip 3. This was the moment the internet truly erupted. As Candace Owens highlighted, the question was simple but damning. Why is Mikey being called a hero when the footage shows something entirely different? The video doesn't show panic, urgency, or a rush to help. Instead, Mikey calmly walks away, phone in hand, as chaos unfolds behind him. And yet, in Erica Kirk's first public address since her husband's death, out of hundreds of names she could have mentioned, she singled out Mikey, and repeated the word amazing with deliberate emphasis. To some, it might have seemed like a heartfelt acknowledgement. But to many observers online, it felt calculated, unsettling, and out of step with what the video clearly captured. The internet immediately began comparing Erica's speech to previous interviews and statements from public figures. Patterns emerged, every name she emphasized, every pause, every gesture seemed almost choreographed. People started asking if her words were meant to redirect attention, defend a man who appeared suspicious in the footage, or simply rewrite the narrative before the public could question it. It wasn't just a word choice. It was a signal. And the contrast between the video and the speech was so stark that it ignited a flood of analysis across TikTok, Reddit, and X, with users dissecting every frame, every inflection, and every facial expression. The praise didn't land as gratitude, it landed as one more puzzle piece in a story that only seemed to get stranger the deeper you looked.
I think the first responders who struggled heroically. And I want to thank the Turning Point USA board, the COO, Justin Strife, and my husband's chief of staff, the amazing Mikey McCoy.
Wait a minute. Let's see that again.
And my husband's chief of staff, the amazing Mikey